Welcome to MWEB's Entrepreneur Zone. Today I've got Mahlatsi with me from MConsulting. Welcome, Mahlatsi.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about MConsulting.
Well, we started our company in 2007. We provide corporate finance, which is mainly revolves around business acquisitions, doing valuations. We also do HR, specifically focusing on finance, because that's what we understand and that's what we can deliver to our clients. And then we naturally do a bit of taxation and accounting services, which falls into our corporate finance business.
And you from an accounting background yourself?
Yes, me and my partner were both chartered accountants.
And how did you start the consultancy?
From a young age, I've always, done a bit of entrepreneurship. I think from a young age, I sold drinks to soccer players. In boarding school, I had my own barber. I used to cut people's hair. So I suppose, I was always an entrepreneur. But having been in the finance space, me and my partner, having seen how things are done, we felt that we could, do it our own way, with our own flavor. And events conspired that we found ourselves starting our own business in 2007.
And your business deals with corporate finance. For a small company, how have you overcome the barriers of having to deal with very large institutions?
Well, I think obviously as individuals, we are fortunate that we understand the product which we deliver to our clients, that we are, I wouldn't want to blow our own trumpet, but we're quite good at what we do. We're comfortable and our results speak for themselves. So I think obviously it being a small market, people are aware of what we've delivered previously. So our service delivery has ensured that we remain competitive and that we can compete with the bigger guys.
For a lot of people, corporate finance is something out of their realm of experience. Tell us in layman's terms exactly what it is and maybe give us some examples of your clients.
If you're an IT whiz kid, like those Google guys in the garage somewhere, and you've grown and you want to make acquisitions. So hypothetically, you would say you wanted to buy MWEB. You would then come to us and say you've had preliminary discussions with the MWEB guys and you needed guys to provide you with advice. So what we would do is we would value MWEB. We would put together the team, lawyers, everybody. And once we valued MWEB, we would understand what the value of MWEB is. You would speak to MWEB. MWEB obviously also understand what the value is. And if you agree on the value and the price, we would put together the structure of the transaction. By structure meaning, how you're going to finance it. Are you going to be doing a share swap, your company taking over MWEB, or you're going to fully acquire MWEB, pay out the MWEB, how you agreed, and how you're going to arrange that debt. Are you going to pay it yourself, or you're going to go to the banks, or you're going to do some private equity transaction? So that's the whole life cycle, and obviously the lawyers will come in and do their bit to write down what we all agreed. And obviously then we'll do the regulatory checks of whether it's the competition tribunal and all of that. So that's what really a typical corporate cycle is. But we also arrange debt. For example, we arrange debt for government to fund the fleet for their employees. So we also create structures to enable people to fund things.
And can you give us some example of the sizes? What's the smallest sort of entry level deal through to kind of your largest?
We generally prefer we don't do anything below 16 million purely because of the time, it takes to put together a transaction. But we've done anything from 16 million to 3.5 billion. That's what we have done. So we've done a whole range of transactions.
So for a small company, having dealt with a 3.5 billion rand transaction, that must give you a lot of credibility.
Yes, as I've said before, we are quite comfortable and confident in our skills and experience. I mean, obviously some of our employees and our partners have worked for huge corporations. I mean, ultimately what you need to understand is it's about the skill. Obviously the brand assists, but what is core is the team you have. Do they have the necessary experience and skill to deliver that? And we've been fortunate that our team have those type of skills, and that's why, as a small business, we have been able to arrange those types of funding and structures for our clients.
So if you were advising someone starting out in a kind of professional services field, what are some of the learnings that you've had that you would pass on to them?
I think obviously in the beginning is extremely tough. I think the most important thing is obviously when you do acquire clients, to make sure that obviously, as my partner always says, that you collect at the end of the day. When you render a service, do your due diligence up front, make sure you collect, and to build partnerships and alliances. As a small player, you will not necessarily either have the brand to give comfort to your clients that you can deliver, but it does assist when you have alliances with some of the, or partnerships with some of the bigger guys that you work with, that you can be able to give you a footing. And then obviously over time, the market or the clients will know that you're able to deliver the services that they require.
Tell us about the growth strategy. You've obviously sold your skills initially. How have you grown your business? Initially,
it's been organic growth, but we've been fortunate in the sense that along the way we've had big breaks. So we've had a lot of luck, and that's what you need in our business. So the way we've grown it through referrals. Most of our business actually is not cold calls. It's people saying that I spoke to this company and they said this is what you did for them. We're looking for something similar. Can you do it for us? And so that is essentially contributed to our growth. So I'll say our growth has always been, servicing the customer, and then the customer is happy and refers us to other clients.
When we were chatting earlier, you mentioned that one of your learnings has been sometimes when you're chasing a really big project or a big client, it can distract you from the business. Tell us a bit about your learnings there.
The challenge with big clients, naturally, I think the first thing you see, obviously, you see the revenue line, and then from there, obviously, you work what you think is going to be profitability. But the core to any business is cash flow, which I refer to as the oxygen of a business. So huge transactions invariably, take away a lot of your, not only your time, but a lot of your cash flow, which hampers your operations. So you've got to be extremely careful when you do get those big clients to understand how the cash flow is going to work, how they're going to pay you, understand their credit rating as well. Because sometimes you do get the big contract, but the clients also is under severe cash flows, which they then transfer to you. So you've got to be able to balance it. Sometimes you just got to be a proper business person and say, what, it's a fantastic opportunity, but it's too risky. Let me just pass it to somebody else that has the risk appetite.
Your business is all about skills and highly skilled people. How do you recruit and motivate these people?
Well, let me say, getting the right talent into your organization is the biggest challenge for any business. So obviously for us, given that we're a small business, we've got to invest a lot into our employees. So we go through a very rigorous interview process. We naturally use the normal channels. We would advertise to say we're looking for this type of skills. We would speak to people in our network to say that we're looking for this type of skills, this type of person. But we do a very rigorous interview process. Sometimes it's not traditional, but we have to do that to make sure that the people share our passion, can fit into our organization. Because it's all about sharing the same beliefs, passion, and also having common goals and retaining that skill once you find it. Skill retention is a huge, huge challenge for our business.
And when you say non-traditional method, what do you?
We'll do surprises. You can be in our interview and we'll give you a test that we never told you about. Or we'll just ask you something completely off. So we need to test you to make sure that you can. But also we're not traditional. We do things differently. So we need a person that can think outside the box.
How do you build a brand in kind of the work area that you focus in, where it's a service to a business and it's quite a formal service?
I think the key is how you deliver to your clients. I think your brand in our type of business is how your clients feel about your service. So we're always very focused on client relation, client service, client feedback. That's how we build our brand, because the greatest advertising you can ever have is your client saying that those guys delivered for me. You can invest in all you want. If your clientele are not happy, it just negates whatever advertising. In fact, it's the quickest way to destroy your brand.
Your business has grown over the last years. Where do you see it going into the future?
Look, I think obviously now that our brand is slowly building, we obviously, there's fantastic opportunities on the continent that's where we want to look at. So we are having discussions with some of the people to see how we can advise on some of the transactions on the continent. So that is the area that we see growth for our business.
Thank you very much. That brings us now to our rapid fire questions. What's the best advice you've ever received?
The best advice is just to never give up. Just try your best at all the time.
And your best moment as an entrepreneur?
Our best moment was being able to close one of our biggest transactions successfully.
And your biggest mistake?
Biggest mistake is not doing due diligence on our clients properly.
What do you look for in people that you work with?
Passion, drive, determination, hard work.
What qualities does an entrepreneur need to succeed?
You need luck, hard work and passion.
What's the biggest inspiration for you as a small business owner?
Being able to see our small clients also grow at the same rate as we have done.
What would you do differently?
Some of the transactions that we've done, we would have definitely have done them differently, or we would have partnered with other people.
What makes South Africa a good place to be a small business owner?
There's fantastic opportunities. There's lots of areas for growth.
What keeps you awake at night?
The economy and how my clients are doing.
And what gets you going in the morning?
The fact that tomorrow can be a better day.
Thank you very much. And thank you for joining us. We look forward to the coming weeks where we will bring you more South African entrepreneurs. I'm Paul Hobden. Thank you and goodbye.